Welcome back to Channel 21 News. Today, I, Alexander Zhu, will talk to one prolific researcher at Melbourne's Swinburne University of Technology, Jane Burry. Jane Burry is the founder of the Design Faculty of Melbourne's Swinburne University of Technology and is its current dean as of 2017. She worked as a former director of Spatial Information Architecture Laboratory at Melbourne's RMIT University, and ever since then she has studied elements of computational design in order to design environments to make them more human-centric. Jane, can I hear some of the projects you're involved in?
One thing a lot of people bring up when they talk about me is the ongoing development of Antoni Gaudi's La Sagrada Familia in Barcelona, where Gaudi designed and tried to build the church until his death in 1926. I can't say it will reach its proposed time of 2026 due to the COVID pandemic though. I work alongside Mark Burry to research how to incorporate CAD and parametric design into the complex to correspond the styles that would reflect styles during Gaudi's time in society.
I hear your career focuses a lot on parametric designs. Can you tell me more about these parametric designs and your research into it?
Well, I have done quite the number of various research projects on how geometry affects the built environment. I wrote about the geometry of air in a chapter of the book Humanizing Digital Reality, and I wrote a series of papers regarding how geometries of a room can affect speech.
I do find the geometry of air quite interesting. Could you please elaborate on that?
My research in air has sort of been split up into smaller projects throughout the years, and I think this one project I did in 2016 highlights what we can do with the geometry of building. As you can see here, I collaborated with some PhD students to study how the geometry of certain shapes and how the heat transfers between them. I found from past projects as well, like our project Robothermodon, or I like to call him Steve, and this project we did in 2014, where we just got a thermal lamp and see how certain patterns affect the temperature. We found out from both of these that the movement of heat from one area to another is one of the major defining elements of the geometry of heat and air.
You also mentioned how the shape of the room also affects the acoustics of it.
Yes. Our research showed that using this pentagonal shape layered with foreign noise cells allowed for the vibrations to optimally travel around space. Another huge reason we found this pentagonal space to be extremely effective is that speech clarity was extremely high, and that the roof was extremely low, which subconsciously causes the mind to use less effort. This means that the speaker can talk for a much longer time in this shape of the room, compared to a flatter wall with a higher ceiling.
Wow, this seems like a lot of things to find out. Were there any setbacks?
Obviously, there were more societal problems that were setbacks in my career, like my position as a woman in the design industry. In the late 20th century, fields like architecture and design were not very accepting of women as workers and researchers in the industry. Luckily, the turn of the 21st century allowed for a lot of women to make it in these fields, like Julie Willis at the Faculty of Design at Melbourne University.
Wow, fascinating. Before we can conclude, could you describe your overall philosophy when approaching these type of projects, Jane?
I try to aim to use math and computational design in a creative solution to solve everyday human problems, and utilize the environment to make it geared towards everyday life.
Well then, Jane, I thank you for your time that you have spent with us.
Thank you for having me here too.
This is Alexander Zhu, signing out from Channel 21 News. Good night, everyone.